I'm back. Hello, hello, hello. For everybody that always supports me, I've been away for a little while. I've been moving. I've relocated, so there's a lot of things that I needed to do with that. There's still a couple of things that I need to do, but I just wanted to start off with doing this full moon in Virgo reading for you because this is such an incredible energy that's happening at the moment, and it's Virgo is particularly a very interesting sort of energy, and Virgo is that very analytical energy, it's that very mind sort of energy. But also what's simultaneously happening at the moment is that the sun is in Pisces, which is a water energy, which is a very emotional energy. So I've made a couple of notes here, but this is a very do-over sort of energy. It's a very do-over sort of opportunity, universal sort of opportunity, where you really want to trust yourself. Now, this full moon in Virgo is falling on March the 18th, but then the other thing to also bear in mind with that is that we are going into the new astrological year, so because we are going into the energy of Aries on March 20th, so that is basically when you think of March the 20th, that is basically what we as human beings should be celebrating as the 1st of January. It's this new year, it's this new start, and Aries is that fire energy. So especially Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, those fire signs, you might find yourself to be very fired up and very jacked up and very need to get this done, need to get this sorted out. And simultaneously, we've got this new moon in Virgo energy, the full moon in Virgo energy. Now, what typically happens with universal energy is that it sort of overlaps each other. So about, say, 3 days before the full moon and about 3 days after the full moon, you have the effect of that energy. But then also with the turn of events, with us going into Aries energy, which is basically the zodiac astrological new year, we definitely are starting to feel that energy already as well. So it can feel a little bit like a tug and pull that's happening at the moment. Now, I'm going to draw a card for all the different zodiac energies, and obviously if you're looking at this on YouTube, there are timestamps down below, and if you're looking at on a different platform, I am going to put sort of like time references for you in the description itself, so you can kind of see where it is. I will always recommend that you look at your sun energy, which is your zodiac energy, as well as your moon, which is your emotions, because this is a very emotionally emotionally turbulent sort of time that we are in at the moment, or as humanity as a whole, moving very actively from 3D to 5D, aligning with that new world, global consciousness arising, ascending. Very, very challenging, very, very overwhelming. A lot of you may feel that you might be feeling very tired, might have been feeling very tired lately, maybe had to have a lot of sleep, maybe you felt very agitated, things annoy you that wouldn't typically annoy you, or on the other end of things, you could have been that you don't care at all about anything whatsoever. So those extremes might have happened quite a lot, where one moment you've got such a burst of energy, it feels like you can, take on the world, and you can do absolutely anything, and then 2-3 hours down the line you are so utterly exhausted that you feel like you can't do anything at all. Sleeping more than usual is definitely something that a lot of you might be experiencing. I personally, I think for the whole of last week, for the good part of a week and a half, I probably slept more than I slept in like 2 months. It just didn't stop. So exhaustion is a thing that can happen at the moment, and one of the main reasons why that is happening is with that sun in Pisces, because remember, Pisces is a very emotional energy. Pisces is the end of the zodiac year, so Pisces, technically speaking, is more sort of like the December of the zodiac energy. It's a beautiful bird that is flying past. Pisces is that December energy, and Pisces is very much a death and rebirth energy. But Pisceans, they can get very emotional sometimes. They can get very overwhelmed sometimes. They're those natural empaths. They just take on other people's emotions, and that can be very, very tough. for them sometimes. The other thing that also happened in this past month is that all the planets were basically direct, which means there were no retrogrades. And you know, it's almost like there was nothing that sort of like, I can almost, you know, I almost go so far as to say that astrologically there was no energies that were basically battling you. This is a very do-over energy. The thing that you want to focus on at this particular point in time is really getting your priorities straight, especially with this full moon in Virgo. Remember, Virgo is an analytical sign. Virgo is, you know, their organizational energy. They look at things like, okay, how is this working? How is that working? You know, and again, with looking at your moon, which is your emotions, you get to see how you are emotionally affected by what's going on at the moment. Another energy to always look at that is highly recommended for you to look at, and you'll usually hear that all tarot readers will say, or many tarot readers will say, you know, look at your sun, your moon, and your rising, and your rising is also your ascending. And the reason why they say that is because it gives you an idea, an overall sort of like idea, scope of how you operate as a human being, how the energies are affecting you, because remember, we are part of everything and everything is part of us, you know. And so with your rising sign or your ascending sign, that is how things are affecting you, how the changes are affecting you, how you go about adapting to the new changes. And I will even say go so far as to look at your Venus, because that's about love and it's about money and it's about how you align with the law of attraction and those type of things, and abundance. And also look at your Mars, because there is such angry energy that's happening at the moment. And one of the main reasons why I moved from living in Cape Town in the city to an area that is called George in the Western Cape, which is a more, it's still a town, but it's a lot more country-like. There's so much more kindness here. You know, I was beginning to find it very overwhelming, and so that is why I moved. And so when you look at your Mars, it gives you a good idea on how you can actually deal with conflict and emotions and all those type of things that are going on at the moment. But with this new moon, why do I keep on saying new moon? It's probably because it's a new year. But with this full moon in Virgo, you know, it's time for practical planning. It's time to declutter, to eliminate the confusion. And the incredible thing about this, which is really, really so fantastic, if you can really have the willingness to take a very honest look at the things that were affecting you, the things that were overwhelming you for the past couple of years. And you say, what wasn't working out in my life? What was I having sort of like repetitive problems with, you know, be it financial, career, finance, romance, you know, whatever it really is, self-confidence, self-sabotage, all those type of things. It's a very good idea to kind of, you know, take a look at those things. It's not always easy to look at those things, but to allow yourself to take a look at those things, to maybe jot them down on a list and see, okay, how am I getting these things? And in my Mind Unlocking and Psychic Development course, which is something that is presented in 8 lessons, 8 very extensive lessons via a private Facebook group, you know, I really guide you into how it is that you can find out how you are creating positive as well as negative manifestations for yourself, because it can be very difficult to accept sometimes that we create our own reality of life. But once you accept it, you also want to know how you are creating that reality of life, so you can create more of the good stuff for yourself, and you can stop creating, you know, some of the bad stuff for yourself. So that is something that I'm doing. Also something I'm doing at the moment, which is so incredibly fantastic, is I was first going to create a chakra balancing, aura protection, energy sort of balance course, but I'm going to do that next. What I'm doing at the moment, which I feel is so important, is a candle magic course, which it's really broad, it's very in-depth. It goes along with earth magic, spell creation, cause and effect, law of attraction, mirror magic, water magic, spell casting, safe spell casting, cause and effect, how to draw sort of like a circle of protection. Though that's something that's going to come out soon on the same platform where I already have a free oracle card reading course, as well as a very detailed step-by-step tarot reading course. All of those details are going to be in the description for you. Okay, but what I want to encourage you before we go to your cards, what I want to encourage you at this particular point in time, this is a time when you want to be flexible, especially flexible in your thoughts, flexible in your mind, where you want to, when you look at the things that you've been creating for yourself, the things that are not working for you, you want to really look at those things and say, okay, so this is the repetitive problem, frustration, annoying, whatever thing, that I kept on having. But how did I contribute towards this? And sometimes it can be very difficult to do that because, sometimes it means that we have to look at, well, what did I do wrong? But the longer we are in resistance to actually do that sort of thing, the longer you kind of keep on having the experience that you actually don't want to have. So in a sense, you basically sabotage your own life. So this is a space where you really want to be open to the idea that if I maybe change my thoughts, that I can change my life. And if that is also something that you're really interested in, you might be interested in a book by a lady called Louise Hay, who was the founder of Hay House, and the book is called You Can Heal Your Life. I don't have it to show it to you because I'm one of those people, I will buy a book, and if I find it very valuable and I feel I can pass it on to someone, I'll pass it on. So I have passed on a lot of books to my clients and my friends and all those type of things. Also, for those of you that are interested in maybe having a personal reading with me, a life coaching tarot reading session, I am going to tell you at the end of all of your messages how you can go ahead and book that with me. For this part, I just want to give you all the messages, okay? Something to meditate on at the moment is contemplating on the future, because what we have sometimes is, we very much, this is what's happening at the moment, this is what I need to focus on, this is my to-do list. But if you want to focus on a to-do list, focus on a to-do list for the future. How will, a very good way to think of things is like, how will what I do right now, how will that impact my future? How will that impact next month, next year, 5 years from now? And that is a way in which Virgo really thinks. They think of the long-term plan. They are able to see the value in sometimes, making short-term sacrifices for long-term benefit. Now, before I get into your zodiac cards, I'm going to draw a zodiac energy or a tarot card for each zodiac energy. I first want to remind you that these are general messages, and then I first have an overall general message for all of you. When I was meditating this morning, this message came to me so clearly, so strongly, and so I want to share that with you. It comes from the Angel Answers deck by Radley Valentine, which also is actually printed by Hay House and distributed by Hay House. And the card that came out was Trust. And so what I have is I work with a collective consciousness. They call themselves Smile. For those of you that are familiar with Esther Hicks, for example, who works with the teachings of Abraham, Smile is very similar to that. If you're not familiar with Esther Hicks, if you're not familiar with the teachings of Abraham, and you really want to improve your life, I will definitely and very highly recommend that you do watch the teachings of Abraham. So the card that came out for you was Trust, and the message that came out for you with it, and I'm going to give it to you the way that it was channeled for you. Okay, so with Trust, when people do things to us that hurt us and that disappoint us, be it in work, be it in life, be it in romance, be it in finance, it's very difficult to sometimes go back and trust that person again. It's very difficult to be fully able to sometimes give them that second chance, even when we really, really want to, even when we really, really want to welcome them back into our lives. We want to maybe give the relationship a second chance. We maybe want to give the business a second chance, the friendship, the family member. Even with the animals, say maybe you've got a dog and the dog bit you, it might be very difficult to get that unconditional love and trust back again sometimes. And the question that Smile encouraged me to put to you is that what might be the areas in your life where you might not be trusting yourself, where it might be difficult for you to actually trust yourself, because sometimes in life it can be difficult to trust yourself, you know, and especially when we try our best in life, you know, we give it our all, and we keep on having the same disappointments over and over and over. It can be very difficult to sometimes trust ourselves. So the question is, what is it that you need to forgive yourself for? And when you look in the mirror and you ask yourself those questions, you know, what is it that I need to forgive myself for? What is it that I need to work on in trusting with myself again so that I can have a different experience of life? So there is a definite bit of introspection that is being guided there for you to do for your own highest good. All right, so we're going to go to your zodiac energies. And I just always write them down, otherwise I can forget the sequence. I am going to go back to my weekly readings very, very soon, where I do a weekly reading for all different zodiac signs. I have got a private Reiki class that is that they doing some studying with me, some training with me at the moment, so I'm just busy wrapping that up. That was a little bit interrupted, and I had the most amazing students that were very, very understanding that for 3 weeks their course needed to be put on hold. So if I can ask you to be understanding, I'd really, really appreciate that while I just get it done. But let's go with the energies now. Remember, you want to look at the energy for your sun, moon, rising and ascending, and I also would highly recommend that you look at your Venus energy and that you look at your Mars energy. Okay, so first up, we've got Aries. And Aries, this is very much, you know, for you, a period of transformation, of rebirth, death, of, you know, letting go of the things that are not working for you. And the card that came out for you, Aries, is the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands is all about that inner peace. It's all about that inner balance, that sort of yin-yang balance that we have. And also remember, Aries, this doesn't mean that you need to have everything 100% together in your life. What this energy is referring to, the Eight of Wands, Aries, it is referring to that peace that you can find within yourself, despite the fact that things are not going the way that you might like them to go. You know, despite the fact that you might not be getting the job that you might want to get, or the love or the relationship that you want to get, it reminds you that when you find the inner peace within yourself, you find a balance within yourself, then you become that magical magnet that attracts all the things into your life that your heart desires. So if there's something that you want to focus on at this particular point in time, with this full moon in Virgo, Aries, that is about working on that inner peace within yourself, which goes very in line with that message of trust that we had in the beginning, which was that overall energy for all the different zodiac energies. Taurus, this is about time for expansion of the mind, maybe spirituality. It might be time for you to be a little bit more adventurous, Taurus. You know, you might have felt, or you might have gotten from people, that you're almost not allowed to, you know, to just sort of be yourself and to be as vibrant as you like to be. And within this full moon in Virgo time, Taurus, you are being encouraged to maybe ask, what is the next level of spirituality for me, but also to open yourself to new adventures. And that could also be adventures in the spiritual sense of the word. The energy that you got is the Justice energy, which is Libra energy. So again, we're speaking about getting balance back into the life, in your life. We're speaking about mind expansion. Taurus, for some of you, you could be feeling that you are in that space where it feels like there's imbalance in your life. It feels like things are not working out. It feels like things are very trippy for you. But one of the reasons why that might be happening for you is because it might be time for you to start thinking a little bigger, to start thinking a little broader, to dream a little bit bigger, to give yourself more of a chance, because you may have been sort of containing yourself there for a while, because you may have believed that that is what is expected of you and that is what should be happening. But remember, you are a being that likes to be explorative, and sometimes you need to give that to yourself. Okay. Gemini. Could be time for you to look at your career, public image, ambitions. Gemini, you may have needed to withdraw from the world there for a while, you know, because the thing with you is that you notice everything and you see everything. And you may have been for a while been experiencing such overwhelm because there was just so much to notice that you needed for a while to sort of like, you know, almost like put yourself in a cocoon, put yourself in a safe space, in a safe haven where you needed that to protect your energy. But now it's time for you to open yourself up to that more sort of outgoing part of your personality. And you've got the Four of Cups. How appropriate. You know, it's so amazing how these cards are just giving you what you need, because the Four of Cups is the energy that encourages you to be open to new things, to be open to new experiences, that is saying to you that maybe you limited yourself. You know, maybe you limited yourself for love and for new careers and for new ventures. It's time to sort of leave the cocoon and to sort of embrace that that outgoing side of yours that wants to be explorative and that wants to embrace life and that wants to be curious. All right. I have got the cutest little, actually it's my nephew's cutest little Jack Russell. And you know, he's a baby, he's only 7 weeks old, he's sleeping at the moment. You'll see him in some future videos, but he's so explorative, you know, he just wants to explore the world. And that is really what is being encouraged for you at this particular point in time, Gemini. Cancer. Cancer, dreams, wishes, goals, hopes, you know. The thing with you, Cancer, especially being a water energy, and I can strongly relate to that because I'm a Cancerian myself, is that, you know, there was just so much emotions going on in the world, you know, for quite some time there, that it was just one of those places where it was almost like emotional overwhelm, because it's not just your emotions, it's also everybody else's emotions. But Cancer, you may have been spreading yourself quite a little bit thin there without even realizing, because you can be that natural empath. So without even realizing, trying to be there for everybody. But now it's time for you to be there for yourself, for your dreams, for your heart, for your desires. And you have got the Hierophant, Cancer. Sorry, this is the Hierophant, the 5 energy, is the energy of new beginnings and numerology. But, you know, when we get the Hierophant, it's an energy that says to you, you know what, you're going to be fine going forward. Everything's going to be fine. You're going to meet the right people when you need to meet them. You're going to get the right sort of knowledge and solutions and everything along the way when you need it. But you have to start moving. You have to give yourself a chance, Cancer. You can't you know, want to almost be insistent to wait that everything has to be 100% perfect before you move forward, because that is a way in which we sometimes hold ourselves back in life. That is a way in which we stagnate sometimes in life, because we want to wait for everything to be 100% perfect. But now is the time for you to move, Cancer, to have courage, you know, the courage to be brave, to move forward, because you remember, as you move forward, it is by you moving forward that you create the perfect sort of path and solutions for yourself. So it's a time to be brave, and it's a time to move forward towards your dreams, towards your hopes, towards your goals. And as you do, the path will reveal itself to you. Leo. Leo, interesting time for you. This is a time for you to open yourself more towards mysticism. Now you are very highly misunderstood, Leo. You know, you are a very sensitive being, and you're a very caring being, because you've got that sun energy. You know, you've got that Leo, leader of the pack sort of energy, you know, lion energy, where you want to make sure that everybody's fine. And a lot of people might sometimes think of you as, you know, boastful and, you know, egotistical and all those type of things. But remember that you are who you are, you know, and as long as you know that you come from good intentions, then you know, move forward with full acceptance of yourself. This is a time of spiritual growth for you. It might also be a very good time for you to start, you know, being open to be explorative towards your own subconscious mind. You know, what are the subconscious patterns that you might have been taken on? Childhood traumas that might not have been released, ancestral traumas that might not have been released. Okay, the card that you got for yourself was the Knight of Pentacles. Now, Knights is the energy, it's the energy of taking action, it's the energy of moving forward, it's the energy of moving towards the goal, the dream, spirituality, abundance, manifestation. It's the energy of, putting on that armor, moving forward boldly and broadly. But the thing is also, Leo, with this high encouragement of this energy, you are also getting a little bit of a question here and a little bit of almost like a warning over here, Leo, that is asking you, are you being kind to yourself? Have you really been putting yourself first? Are you maybe harboring some outdated patterns? Things that worked last year, last month, last week might not be working anymore. Are you holding on to things, Leo, that are not serving your highest good? Because it makes, literally with this full moon in Virgo, it makes logical sense for you to move along without those things. That might sometimes also mean that you need to leave certain people behind, okay? Or even change the dream of where you thought your life is going to go. Virgo. Obviously it's Virgo in full moon, so this is really, really fantastic. Virgo, it's very much a time of the self-exploration, your identity, self-esteem, and oh wow, the energy that you got is the Tower. Now the Tower is one of those energies that people get and they go like, oh my goodness, this is going to be so bad. But remember, the Tower is about transformation. It is about the release of energy patterns that really haven't been working for the longest time in any case. So Virgo, even though, you are that beautiful energy that is very analytical, that make your list and that can look at things very logically, for everyone, but especially for you at the moment, if you've been extremely analytical, Virgo, it might be time to move a little bit into the heart space. Or if you haven't allowed yourself to be that analytical, that analytical energy, that's what I meant to say, yes, and you've been in the heart space quite a bit, it might be time to open that mind again and to use that beautiful mind of yours. If you've been staring yourself, maybe deliberately blind into things, you say, I don't want to see this, I don't want to see this, I don't want to deal with this, I don't want to deal with that, I'm rather not going to do this, I'm rather not going to do that. It might be time to start taking a very honest look at things, Virgo. What are some of the things that you need to let go of? Some of you might also have sort of like walls of protection around you that you may have needed at some time, maybe to get over some hurt, to get over some pain, to deal with some things. But I feel that for some of you, you might be almost overly hard on yourself and overly critical of yourself. And it might be time to let that go so that the beauty of who you are can shine. It's time for your heart to shine and for that glow to come out in your face again, my beautiful Virgos. All right. Libra, this is a time for you for, what are your values? This is a time for you for money. This is a time for manifesting your goals, for manifesting your dreams, Libra. Remember, with that Virgo energy, this full moon Virgo energy, and the sun being in Pisces at the moment, because obviously the sun is almost like a father sort of energy, a divine male energy. And so with Virgo, who's that clear, analytical, almost clerical actually, energy, that clear sort of energy, along with the sun in along with the sort of like the sun in Pisces. Sorry, I meant to say that the other way around. The moon with that more sort of like divine feminine energy. So, where sometimes you can be so critical and so hard, there's a bit of a softness on that. And with the sun and Pisces at the moment, where sometimes with emotions, you can maybe get a little bit too emotional. And some of you may be afraid that you might have been getting too emotional. The sun brings that strength for you. The divine male energy of the sun brings that strength for you. So you get that beautiful yin-yang balance at the moment, Libra, for you. And this is the perfect time for you to manifest your goals in a very healthy sort of way. All right. And you've got the Ten of Swords. So it's a time of releasing, letting the past go. Who are you holding on to? What are you holding on to? Be this another person, be this a version of yourself. It might be time for you, Libra, to analyze or maybe rather reanalyze your dreams and your goals. Is that still where you want to go? Are you maybe chasing a direction that is not necessarily where you want to be going? You know, is it maybe time to maybe go back to the drawing board, Libra, and to maybe give things a bit of a new look? You know, are you holding on to friendships, relationships, beliefs, things that are not serving your highest good? You know, where you might be saying, well, I'm being a good person, and there's nothing wrong with that, but are you being a good person to yourself? Because remember that in life, your biggest responsibility is towards yourself first and foremost. All right. Scorpio. Scorpio, this is a really great time for you. It's a time for generating ideas, communication, looking at your thoughts, where sometimes for you, Scorpio, you can get very lost in almost like a bit of a dreamy sort of world, or the desires of your heart versus the reality of what could happen for you right now. And also, Scorpio, for you, you can very easily sometimes believe that, you know, that a dream that you have, that it's your dream, that when maybe it's actually a dream that you're having for someone else or for the world. Because there's my little Jack Russell waking up. Because the thing for you also, Scorpio, is that you have got this thing where you are you want everybody to be happy, you want everybody to be good, you know, and sometimes you try and really help people by pointing out to them, be it in words, be it in actions, you know, what are the things that are sort of disadvantaging them, and then people sort of misinterpret that and they think that you're a terrible person. And so it might be time for you to kind of look at your communication, look at the thoughts that you focus on, and making sure that the things that you are focusing on are actually the things that are serving your highest good. Look at what it's a card that you got, the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is letting you know, Scorpio, that you are emotionally ready within yourself in every way, emotionally, mentally, physically ready for that next level, for that beauty in life. This is a time for you to go forward. This is a time for you to believe in yourself. This is a time for you to have faith in yourself. This is a time for you to have faith in your dreams, all right? Because all the energies of the earth, Scorpio, are here to assist you at this moment for you to reach those beautiful desires that you would like to have. And this is a time for you to focus on yourself. And as you focus on yourself, you will find that a lot of the other beauty is coming towards you as well. Sagittarius. Family, home, inner security, your sanctuary, hey baby, your you-ness, your who you are. For those of you that don't know, I'm saying hi to the dog. You know, Sagittarius, this is a time for you to really and I feel that many of you are feeling it very strongly, where, you know, you want to focus on what is important to you. Who are the people that are actually really there for you? You know, and I wouldn't even say that this is a time to cut other people off, because I feel that for many of you, you sort of, it's like life communicated to you in ways that you may not have appreciated. You know, who are the people that you need to let go of? What are the ideas that you need to let go of? What are the images that you need to let go of? Maybe you had certain dreams at a stage, maybe you followed certain ambitions at a time, and now it's time to let those go. And I feel that for you, Sagittarius, this is a time where you want to, instead of trying to save situations, it's time to almost in a sense accept that it is time to let certain things go, okay? Ten of Pentacles. Again, sorry, this is about the home life. This is about you living your greatest experience of life. Sagittarius, you know, with your particular energy, I always believe that the energy of Sagittarius, it is that energy of a very old soul. And, you know, it's funny because my sister's a Sagittarius and we were in the car yesterday and, you know, we were speaking about how Sagittarius, you know, often believe that they are right. But it's a little bit of a miscommunication because they're more sort of like, this is my opinion, which doesn't have to be your opinion, but obviously a lot of people don't always get that. And it was funny because she was saying that how she was speaking to someone, and the person was saying that how Sagittarius always want to be right. And she was explaining to him how that is not necessarily always true. And then mid-sentence, she actually burst out laughing because she was realizing that she was doing that very thing. But Sagittarius, at this particular point in time, you know, you are very connected to your to your ancestral lineage, to the truth of who you are, to that old soul energy of who you are, then this is a time for you to shine. And if there's anybody in your space, in your life, that either is unwilling or not ready to shine with you, it might be time to let those energies go, to let those people go. Okay? Sorry. Capricorn. Capricorn, this is a space for you, because remember, you are that very sort of outward shining sort of energy. This is a perfect time for romance, a time for play, a time for exploration, a time for self-expression. This is a time for you to literally just really shine like that beautiful beacon of light that you are. Capricorn, this is a time for you to just play and to just allow yourself to shine, and just to allow your soul to shine, and just to allow yourself to be that being of light. And you've got the Five of Wands. So the question for you, Capricorn, is what are the things within yourself that have been withholding you from shining your light, from being you, from being that sort of authentic self of who you are? Inner conflicts, maybe people that are misunderstanding you, relationships that are difficult, things that are unresolved. It's time to let those things go. Come here, boy. Hello. So this is Bruno, everybody. He's the most naughtiest little baby. Let's lay for me over here. We're busy with Capricorns. And don't be afraid to be who you are. Don't be afraid to just let that light shine, Capricorn. And it's time to let go of the situations that can't be fixed. It's time to let go of the people that are simply committed to misunderstanding you, that sort of like don't want to accept you for just who you are, that maybe want you to change, to be a different version of yourself. Aquarius, look at this naughty little thing. Aquarius, this is a time for self-improvement, working at your home space, looking at your health, your emotional health, your physical health, your mental health. When we say mental health, we're speaking about your state of mind. How are you doing at the moment? Aquarius, you may have found, my best friend is an Aquarius, and she's been doing this actually. You may find that you have started to maybe clear the clutter in your life, that maybe you are willing to accept certain things for quite a period of time, and now you are no longer willing to accept those things. It's almost like with the infinity prayer, where we are, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And this is that space, Aquarius, where for you it's almost like, listen, that for many of you, it's really time to have the clarity of what are the things that you can change, what are the things that are overdue for you. Sit here, my love. And the card for you is the World. And the World is incredible because it's the end of cycles. It's the start of new beginnings. Certain cycles have come to an end. It's time to let the clutter go, the emotional clutter, the mental clutter, the physical clutter, clear out the corners of the mind, clear out the clutters of the home. It's time for you to be open to new things, Aquarius. All right. And then finally, Pisces. And Pisces, it's almost your moment. It's so incredible. You need to be calm, baby. Pisces, this is a time for you to really look at your personal life, at your relationships, professional relationships, everything in your life. It's so incredible. I already drew your card and you're going to love it so much. It's an amazing card for you. But Pisces, this is a time for you to really do that inner reflection and to look and to see what are the things in my life that I want, that I need to be happy. You got this beautiful energy that is so looking at others and helping others. But what are the things that you need in your life for you to be good? All right. And you got the Two of Wands, which is that energy of, do I go or do I stay? What do you want, Pisces? What is it that you want in this, in this beautiful energy of who you are? What is that personal need that you have? What are you holding on to? Because sometimes we've got this thing of saying, well, it's going to be okay. My moment is going to come. My season is going to come. But your season is now. Your time is now. All right. All right, so that's what I've got for everybody. I hope that it helps for me and beautiful little Bruno, the naughtiest little baby. And so for those of you that are maybe interested in having a personal reading with me, I don't do a lot of personal readings because I do a lot of coaching. And, you know, the reason why I like to do a lot of coaching is because tongue twisted. I am able to help even more people. So if you want to have a reading with me, I always recommend that you contact me sooner as opposed to later. And then we can set a date and time for you. The way that I do them is I record a reading for you. And then I send you a recording of the reading so you get to keep that. And what's really great about that is, like, you know, with a conversational reading on like a Zoom call or like a one-on-one, sometimes we don't get everything at that moment, but when you have a video, you look at something and you're like, oh, and then you look at it again, maybe say 2 or 3 days later, and you're like, because, you know, sometimes our mind doesn't take everything at the same moment. So it's really nice to have a video because you can go back and you can look at it again, and as you go forward in life, you get to see how much you have, you know, changed and grown. So I say I make you a video, I send it to you, you get 7 days to download it. You please need to download it because I send it to you and I don't keep a copy of it. Because obviously also this is your personal information. And then so what you basically do is, my contact details are down below in the description, but you send me an email to AHNGreatLife.com, and as soon as you make payment, you send me proof of payment with that. You can send me up to 5 questions that you'd like to answer. So I do a general reading for you, and then which normally answers the questions that you have in any case. But then I'll also, you know, explore your 5 questions. You don't have to have all 5. You can have less than 5, but you can put up to 5 questions. Because when we normally even get to like 3 questions, we find that we just repeat the same things over and over. And then usually within 3 to 5 business days, I will then send your reading through to you. But all this information is down below. I wish you all the best. I really look forward to starting to do personal or like personal for the different zodiac energies readings for you again. I'll start it within the next, say, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. So be sure to subscribe to the channel so when that comes out, you also have access to that. From my heart, namaste. Wish you love and light. Bye. You say bye. You say bye. Bye, baby. Bye, bye, bye.